Hi everyone. Good evening, or depending on when you see this, good morning, good afternoon. I wanted to give you a quick video because I saw quite a few people comment, I made this chatbot, I don't know how to get it to kids. What do I do with it now? Kind of the so what, which is a very fair question. I want this course to be as practical as possible. So if there's something you've made and you're like, I want to use this today, what do I do? Wanted to give you a couple options. So I kind of started where you did. I said, well, I need to make my own tutor persona. So I started in ChatGPT. And one thing to remember with these large language models, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, all the things, they learn you over time. They start remembering the things you tell it, the ways you like to work, the types of things you're interested in, and it kind of builds its own little profile of you. So I thought, all right, I've been in here since 2022 when it first came out, and literally all my chats are saved over here in ChatGPT. I tend to use Claude more, so I used to. Now I'm kind of leaning more towards Gemini, but anyway. So I've got them all over the place, but I've used it for a lot of grad school stuff, a lot of coaching things, so it's heard a lot of education. So I thought, all right, I'm going to ask it. Given what you've learned about me as a person and as an educator, you tell me, what would a tutor persona be that would kind of mimic all of my qualities? Pedagogically, just as a human, what could you do? So it started one. It called me Coach Harper. Don't know where the Harper came from. And I don't know if you caught this. It says I'm a middle school principal. I'm not. I am never. I would never. God love those of you who are or will one day be administrators. It is not in my wheelhouse. I will never be an admin. I'm very clearly a teacher to my core, and I'm just going to stay in my lane, right? But I point that out because I want you to see something I do to it later. Because it bothers me that it always says that, and I'm like, why do I not just tell it to stop? But it did give me this beautiful kind of persona, beautiful if not wordy and a little bit windy, but core beliefs, what this tutor is going to value, how it communicates, its teaching approach, how it will not give answers, but it'll guide thinking, it will scaffold, it will provide support for reading and writing. It has some items on culture, academic focus, how to get kids back on task. And I really like that it is built in examples for all of these things, because that's going to make it as strong a prompt as possible. The more examples you can put in to give this chatbot some context, the better. So I liked all of this. I liked the boundaries a lot. But what I didn't like was the name. And I didn't like that it called me a principal. So I said, can you change it to Coach O? Because that's what kids call me, Coach O or Miss O. And I'm not a school principal. So check out right here, updated save memory. And it made a mental note to itself, or digital note, or I don't know what you call it, an AI note, that from now on it understands I'm not an admin, I'm a coach. So it's important to give it these things and make sure it's interacting with you correctly. And it's fair to correct it. And you can also tell it, like, to start expecting, I prefer to work this way. I don't want you to focus on any misspellings. I want you to focus on that. Anything you want to train it to do, it's your tool to command. So you make it do what you want it to do. So anyway, it redid it. It put Coach O. I could have changed that out, but why not make it? So I took all of this. It's long. And I copied it and put it into a Word doc, which I have closed, but I did that just so I could download it as a PDF. So my PDF has my full persona. Now I'm ready to make a chatbot. So in GPT, here's your option. In ChatGPT, you come over here to GPTs, and you tell it you want to create. Now I have one. I currently have it building. Let's see if it kept it. I'll be really salty if it's gone. Let me just pause you and see if I can go find it. Too many tabs open. Found it. So in the in the custom GPT, I clicked create, and it says, all right, I'll help you build a GPT. What do you want to do? And I just said, I want to create an on-demand ELA tutor for middle school students. I've attached a tutor profile. This is the same prompt I'm going to use each time. I attached that PDF of what I pulled from ChatGPT. And it says, okay, I've got some initial stuff. Let's give it a name. I didn't like any of those, so I renamed it. It wanted to make an image, and it started with an owl. And I'm like, can it not be an owl? Could it be like a human teacher? Then it made it a man, and I'm like, it's not that I'm against men, think they're great, but I'm a woman. Can I have a woman? Notice the bias. It immediately went to a white woman. I could continue to prompt it if I want different skin tones, but I am pretty melanin deficient. So I said, okay, that looks good. What's our next step? And it said, all right, you're going to test it. And this is a great point. You need to test this multiple times. But once I finish it, it's going to look just like this, Coach O's tutoring space. It will have these that kids could click on, or it will have a chat. It just lives in the GPTs. All I have to do is click create. Now, I don't want to create it and put it out into the world yet until I have fully tested it and I'm happy with it. And it wants to add guardrails, even though it says, yeah, they're in your protocol, but maybe we could tighten it up. But it has all of these options, okay? Then once you publish it, it lives over here in GPTs, okay? Now, where are the... I was hoping I could show you the one. I have one that Dr. McFall did. I don't see it. Oh, there's all my samples that I tried earlier. Darn it. Dr. McFall made one that was, it's a coffee chat with 6 different educational theorists. And you go in and you just have discussions with them. And it was fascinating. But really, once your GPT is done and it's in here, you just grab the link to it up here, share the link, and anybody can get to it. All right. So, in theory, when this bad boy's done, I can grab the link once I've published it and share it with all my students. Okay. So, there's one option. It's hard to show you everything when it's not done. My next option, my favorite LLM until fairly recently, and I feel like it's gone downhill a smidge, was Claude. So I did the same thing. Can you help me build, although I called it an artifact, because that's what you call outputs in Claude. If I said chatbot, it would build me an entirely standalone chatbot that I then need the API key for, and I need to upload to the web and this and that. It's not that I couldn't do it, and it would help me do all of it. I don't need to do all that work for this, okay? So I said, can you do it? Here's my persona, and I will say, I added my favorite prompt ever. It doesn't matter what else you put when you are prompting an AI. If you end with this question every time, you automatically up your final outcome, because always the AI thinks of things I did not think to include. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should have told it that. So I always ask that. It gave me 3 clickable questions. What should students be able to bring? And I clicked all the above. I don't remember what the question was. It might have been like questions about reading, a writing sample, something else. How should the chat history work? I did not want it saving the kids' chat history. And what's the vibe you're going for? I'm like, fun, engaging, colorful. So it started to build it out, and it said, are you sure this is what you want? Okay, here we go. And I said, I don't want to drop it into any app. I just want to publish it. But it commented back there. It said, hey, do you want any kind of teacher view or usage tracking? And I thought, you know what, I do. Because in a chat GPT, in a custom GPT, I can't see what the kids say unless they screenshot it and share it with me. In a Claude artifact, I can't see what they say generally. Now in School AI, I could. But I love that idea. So it asked me a few questions. Do you want to let kids know the teacher might see it? Yes, I do, because in middle school, that's about the only thing keeping them on the straight and narrow. Somebody might see. But then it asks, how do teachers want to get to it? I'm like, same place. Don't give me a new website. I want to see everything you can give me. full transcript, what they worked on, who the student was, what day and time they logged on, how many times they messaged back and forth. Give me all that. And then where should it be stored? Just in the browser. So if I clear the cache, it's gone, which again, I'm not keeping that data out there. So it said, okay, everything's here. I've upgraded your app, and here's your password, Coach O 2025. I don't know why it's 2025, but that's okay. So it built it over here on the right. Now, if you want some fun, you could watch all the coding. This is all the coding it did in the background. I don't know how to do this. I know the barest basics of HTML. I do not know how to code something like this, but Claude does. So Claude wrote all this code, and then it turned out to be this bad boy. Okay. So what do you do with it? How do kids get to it? Because you can't just be like, here's my Claude. You publish it to the web. You publish the artifact. Okay. Now I already published it, but if I click it again, I can get the link. So you copy the link, you share that with, you put it in your Google Classroom, in your Canvas, in whatever your LLM is. You push it to them in email, however you want to get it to them. You know, carrier pigeon, doesn't matter. Get them the link, and then when they get to the link, this is what happens. This can be their permanent ongoing tutor. My name is Becky. What are we working on today? Now look, I have buttons. I could ask a question, I could paste a passage, I could share my writing. Ooh, I do see sessions may reviewed by teacher. Let's say I'm going to ask a question. Who is Tim Johnson? Helps if you spell his name right. Into Kill a Mockingbird. Let's see if it helps me, because that one trips up a lot of my kids who don't read closely. They're like, what do you mean Atticus shot Tim Johnson? This is perfect. He's actually pretty important. Tim is a dog. Now, that's not a giveaway. I don't see that as giving the students the answer, because it was clearly in the book. This is a kid who just misunderstood. And I love that I just asked who Tim Johnson was, and they're like, yeah, that's great, but why is it here? What does this reveal about Atticus? And it's a symbol, and it's all the things. So great, we've sent these things. But now it did tell me I can go look at these, so how can I do it? Where do I get subtle to miss teacher access link in the footer? I do not see set access in the footer. Oh, there it is. Coach O 2025. One session, one student, one message. It was Becky. Everything that happened. That's amazing. That's the first time I've seen that happen. I didn't even know that could be done. Okay, so you could absolutely do it as an artifact in Claude and then publish, share the website. The third way, and I know this is getting wordy and windy, sorry. When you are in School AI, even in the free one, you start by going to Assistance. And in Assistance, we have one called Space Designer. It will help you write the prompt for a space. Okay? Because again, it's a lot to consider. So I came in, started with the exact same thing. I would like a tutor chatbot for middle school ELA. Here's the attached persona. What questions do you have? It did ask me a few. I gave it some feedback. It asked me some more questions. I'm like, ooh, love it. Like accessibility or language needs for my students. Do I need to reference the learning standards or not? Blah, blah, blah. So I continued to answer, and then it walked me through its prompt chunk by chunk and said, here's what I think is the role. Does this match what you wanted? And I said, yes, that's good. Here I think is what you want in the task. Is this accurate? Yes, that's good. Here are the instructions we're going to give it. Does this capture what you want? Yes, I'm happy. Here are some requirements, boundaries and expectations. Do you like this? Yes, I like this. Then it says, do you want the full prompt for your space? Yes, I do. Because I don't want to write all that out. And I could copy this, but let's just have it. it writes me this beautifully formatted 1-page. I copy this, and then I come over here to create a space. I gave it a title like Coach O's Tutoring Space. I paste that entire prompt in there. I didn't tie it to standards because ELA, this is a broad tutor. I had it generate a cover image, a subtitle, a teacher description. I previewed it and I saved it. So now what I have in the Launchpad, when I go to My Creations, I have an ELA tutor that all I have to do is launch it, use a space code. A lot of you shared these with me. Again, share this link with your students. They're going to go into the chatbot, start chatting. It's going to start populating here, and you will have a full record of everything that's said and done in that chat. So, 3 totally different ways to build this out. 3 very different looks. And I did put all of the links to these 3 below so that you could go in and play with them if you wanted to. But just some food for thought or some ideas. Even your younger students who should not be using AI directly. You really should not be putting elementary kids in a large language model ever. But they could do something like this, something with these guardrails on, a chatbot like that, or like this other one. Especially, this one isn't built so much, but these, when you go in, you'll see it has the microphone button so the student could speak their answer. And then there's a speaker button so they can hear the AI's response. So even if they're not fully keyboard proficient, younger students could absolutely interact with a tutor or a chatbot that was programmed appropriately for them. So lots of food for thought, but just wanted you to have these options. If some of you were ready to take your chatbot out into the wild, maybe one of these will work for you. Please let me know if you have questions or if you have other ideas. Happy to share those out with the group, or you can. And I hope you have a great weekend.